ร้อนมากร้อนมากร้อนมาก
โต้ร้อนไหม
ร้อนมาก ร้อนมากครับ
40 degrees, feeling like 47, another ridiculously hot day here in Sisaket province, which is to be expected at this time of the year. It is April after all, the hottest month of the year in Thailand. And it got me thinking, is Thailand becoming too hot to enjoy living in? Yes and no. Let's go inside the coffee shop and I'll explain. So firstly, no, it's not too hot to live in because the other option is going back to the UK. Oh, the AC's not even on. The other option is going back to the UK and spending a winter there. Now, don't get me wrong, I love UK summer. The few hours of the year that it lasts for are unbelievable. But the thought of going back to the UK and spending a winter there, cold, dark, miserable, I just can't deal with it anymore. I usually go back to the UK and visit my family around December time, and it's a bloody good job that it's acceptable to drink a lot during that time of the year. Otherwise, I would not be going back at all. On the other hand, yes, at this particular time of year in Thailand, it is becoming hard to enjoy doing anything remotely physical outside during the middle part of the day. I've been outside just for a few minutes even, recording, and my head is absolutely dripping already. Just earlier, I drove to the local shop, only a couple of minutes that way on the bike, and the hot gusts of wind were hitting me in the face, and it felt like somebody was opening and closing an oven door with my face right in front of it. So what do we do? What do Thai people do to cope with the heat? So I'm going to give you 4 things I currently do. One of them is very, very obvious, but the last one is something I never imagined I would be doing when I moved here. I'm now recording on my phone as appropriately the GoPro has decided to overheat whilst I was recording outside. So we'll give it a moment and then we'll continue. Now the GoPro's cooled down, let's talk about the first solution. Nothing magical. It is these. We spend pretty much all day during the middle of the day inside. It's too hot to spend time outside, especially doing anything physical. So we spend most of our time indoors. We're working anyway, right? We're not on holiday. We're not sitting around the pool on the beach. We're indoors trying to work. So the AC's on all the time. We also have the fan on just to help circulate the air. Now I know the price of electricity has gone up a fair bit in Thailand over the last year or so, and for some people they are feeling the pinch, and I understand it can be unaffordable for certain people, but for us, I couldn't live without it. I probably want to fly somewhere else, especially for this period of the year where it's 40 degrees plus every single day. Mina, how much was the electricity bill last month?
Around 15k.
So around 15,000 baht. That's not just for our house, that's for our house, her mum's house, and her grandma's house, Yai. And that also includes some of the cost for running her mum's radio station. So I'd say for us, how much do you reckon our share is? About 4,000? So we've got the AC running most of the time, the dog's inside, little Pomeranian can't deal with the heat. So I would say for 2 people with the AC on most of the time, we're probably running 4,000 to 5,000 per month at the moment. Okay, it's 2 p.m. and let's go and see if we can see anyone sat around or working in the sun. Mina's uncle's just sat down in the shade. So my point here is Thai people don't sit around or work in the sun during the middle of the day. If they do, they will completely cover themselves up, big hat, like balaclava, long sleeve all the time. Now when I first moved to Thailand, I thought they were absolutely bonkers wearing a hoodie, jeans and hats and stuff to cover all of their skin when it's 40 degrees. But now I've been here for a while, even though I'm stood in the sun right now, I completely understand it because it is just ridiculously hot all of the time and they don't want to get skin damage. Okay, as you can see, nobody's out in the sun at this time, nobody's doing any work, walking around in the sun. It's literally just me looking like a numpty. Everybody else is in the shade. There's one guy here, got a hat fully covered. Just to illustrate my point there, he's just put his balaclava over to cover his face, wearing jeans, long sleeves. Yeah, he's going to be sweaty, but they want to prioritize not damaging their skin, not getting burnt. If you look at someone from the UK, as soon as the sun comes out, they're taking the t-shirt off, sunburnt within 5 minutes. And yeah, just different priorities. Here, no one cares about your bloody tan. People always messaging me like, oh, you've lived in Thailand for 3 years, where's your tan? no one cares about your fucking tan. That leads me on to my other point, sunscreen. I wear sunscreen every single day, even if it's cloudy. The UV level here is ridiculous. So if you're like me, white, pasty, ginger beard as well, wearing sunscreen every day is probably going to be advisable. Everyone's trying to escape the sun, and you'll notice this especially when you go to like a resort or the beach. Thai people won't swim in the sea or in the beach during the middle part of the day because they don't want to get burnt. You'll see them all coming out at like 4 or 5 o'clock when the sun's starting to get a little bit lower, so that they can protect their skin. So Thai people, they're used to the sun, but they're much more sensible. And I think in the West, because we're so deprived of the sun, as soon as it comes out, we just want to spend as much time in it as possible, which I understand because I lived there for so long and it was bloody depressing in winter when there's no sun around. And as soon as you get that hit of sun on your skin, you suddenly feel like 10 times better. The last thing I've been doing 3 times a day recently is bucket showers. Yes, you heard right, bucket shower. Now, if you've been to any rural part of Thailand where they're not connected to the mains, you'll have probably done this anyway, and it is so good, especially at this time of year. I mean, the rest of the year when it's rainy season, not so hot, I don't do it too much, but March, April, May, I do this a lot. So I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to explain to you exactly why. So those big barrels that you see, the big blue one here, these are water tanks, and they go up, you'll have seen them on a tower, and people have the pump that goes into the ground, brings the water up into the tank, and then it's ready and available for when they need the water in their home. But at this time of year, because it is just ridiculously hot and there's so much sunshine, and it beams straight down onto those tanks if they're not covered. So when you go to have a shower in the middle of the day or in the evening, that water is really warm and it's not refreshing at all, doesn't cool you down, and there's no option to cool it down. So what we've been doing is we fill a big bucket or barrel of water in our outside bathrooms, like a big wet room, and then we leave it in there during the day. And because it's not in the direct sunlight, that water stays cooler. And whenever we want to go and take a shower, literally just strip the clothes off, pick up the paddle, pour it on your head, and it is so good. So they are the ways that I cope with the heat whilst living in Thailand. Nothing special, it's quite hard to stay away from. And literally, as I say that, I don't know if it was the sweat from my forehead or those rain clouds. Just got some drops on my arm. Some rain would be very welcome right now. So if you have any other ways that help you cope with the heat in Thailand, drop them in the comments below. Other than that, you're just going to have to accept that you are living in a very hot country, and it is just part of life.